Some girls never say, I like you, not because they don't feel it, but because they're terrified of being rejected. And if you miss these signs, you may lose someone who was silently choosing you every single day. Repeated effort is never accidental because human energy is sacred, and nobody spends their emotional, mental, and physical energy on someone who does not matter to them. When a girl keeps showing up for you again and again, when she keeps initiating conversation, checking in on you, remembering your struggles, adjusting her schedule, making space for your presence, even on days when she is overwhelmed, tired, or emotionally drained, that is not randomness, that is priority. People naturally protect their energy. They don't waste it. So when someone consistently invests it into you, that investment comes from intention, not coincidence. When she replies, even when she's busy, when she still responds, even when she's upset, when she still makes an effort, even when her day is falling apart, it silently reflects something deeper than politeness. Effort requires desire, and repeated effort requires emotional attachment. The truth is, attraction does not show itself loudly at first. It reveals itself through patterns. One message could be curiosity. Two could be politeness, but consistency over time is emotional permission. When she keeps returning to you, it means you have become a place of emotional familiarity for her, a place her mind naturally travels to without force, and no human heart travels without reason. Repeated effort also shows courage because every time she reaches out, every time she makes space for you, every time she prioritizes your presence, she risks rejection, misunderstanding, and disappointment. Yet she still shows up. That alone tells you that something inside her is quietly choosing you over her fear. Women do not emotionally invest where they feel nothing. Every effort costs vulnerability, and vulnerability is not given to strangers. When she tries to understand your mood, when she adjusts how she speaks to you, when she becomes careful with her words around you, when she notices what affects you emotionally and remembers it later, her effort is no longer casual, it becomes intentional. And intention is the language of interest. Even when she hides her feelings, her consistency betrays her, because emotions leak through behavior when words are controlled. A woman may say very little, but her repeated presence speaks loudly. If she didn't care, your absence would not change her behavior. If she felt nothing, your silence would not disturb her peace. But when she keeps returning, it means your presence has already created emotional impact. People chase what feels safe, meaningful, or emotionally stimulating. Repeated effort means you have become one of those things in her inner world. And no one repeatedly invests in an emotional space that feels empty to them. Emotional curiosity is stronger than physical attention because the body can be drawn to many people, but the mind only lingers where it feels emotionally intrigued. Physical attraction is immediate, reactive, often impulsive, but emotional curiosity is slow, intentional, and deeply consuming. When a girl is emotionally curious about you, she doesn't just look at how you appear, she studies how you think, how you react, how you process pain, how you carry silence, how you respond under pressure. She wants to understand your layers, not just your surface. She listens not to reply, but to decode you. She notices changes in your tone, senses tension in your pauses, reads meaning in your smallest shifts. This kind of attention is not driven by desire alone. It is driven by fascination. And fascination is dangerous because once the mind becomes emotionally invested, detachment becomes almost impossible. A woman can find someone physically attractive and forget him within days. But when her curiosity enters your emotional world, when she begins to wonder what hurts you, what motivates you, what disappoints you, what excites you at a soul level, then you occupy a space far deeper than surface level interest. At that stage, your absence affects her. Your mood affects her. Your distance creates restlessness in her mind. This is no longer about looks. This is about meaning. Emotional curiosity pulls a woman closer in ways physical attention never can. When she asks about your childhood, your fears, your failures, your goals, and your emotional struggles, she is unconsciously trying to map your inner world. She is not just attracted, she is attaching. Physical attraction may make her look at you, but emotional curiosity makes her stay with you, think about you, worry about you, analyze you, and anticipate your behavior. She will replay conversations in her mind, reread messages, revisit moments, not because they were romantic, but because they made her feel connected. Emotional curiosity creates emotional bonds before love even arrives. She becomes invested in your emotional state without realizing it. She wants to know when you are not okay, why you changed your tone, what made you distant, what hurt you that day. That level of concern cannot be forced. It grows only when someone matters. And when a woman is emotionally curious about you, she will unconsciously give you emotional priority even before she understands why. She may deny her feelings, resist attachment, distract herself, but her questions will always return to you because physical attraction fades in isolation, but emotional curiosity grows in silence. It grows in absence. It grows in unanswered questions. It grows when she doesn't fully understand you yet, but desperately wants to. And once emotional curiosity is activated, it doesn't shut down easily. It keeps pulling her back into your world again and again, searching for clarity, connection, reassurance, depth, and meaning where her heart has already started to recognize importance without permission. Consistency reveals intention because time is the only test that destroys illusion and exposes truth. Anyone can act interested for a moment. Anyone can show affection when emotions are high. Anyone can perform attraction when it benefits them. But only those with genuine intention remain steady when excitement fades, when distance appears, when circumstances change, when a girl repeatedly checks in on you, repeatedly shows concern, repeatedly remembers what matters to you, repeatedly finds a way back into your presence. No matter how busy or distracted her life becomes, she is unconsciously proving that her attention is not temporary. Feelings that are shallow burn fast and disappear fast, but intention moves slowly and survives quietly. Consistency means she doesn't just show up when she needs you or when she feels lonely. She shows up as a habit, as a pattern, as a natural emotional rhythm. And patterns are never accidental. When behavior repeats itself over time without pressure or reward, it means something inside her is already committed at an emotional level she may not even fully understand yet. Consistency requires effort, energy, and emotional discipline. People do not consistently invest where their heart feels nothing. They may visit once out of curiosity, twice out of politeness, but they only stay where attachment begins forming. When she continues to ask about your day, continues to remember your moods, continues to notice your shifts, continues to engage with your thoughts, she is doing more than being kind. She is revealing direction. Intention is not revealed in promises. It is revealed in routine. What she repeatedly does for you tells you who you are to her. Consistency also means she chooses you across emotional seasons, not just during comfort or excitement. When she still speaks to you when you are quiet, when she still shows interest when you are struggling, when she still makes space for you even when you are not at your best, that is where intention becomes visible. Desire enjoys perfection. Intention survives imperfection. Anyone can admire you when you are confident, happy, and entertaining. But when she remains present through your confusion, your uncertainty, your flaws, she is emotionally anchoring herself to you. Consistency carries patience inside it, and patience never exists without meaning. When she waits for your replies without anger, when she gives you time without pressure, when she allows emotional pauses without demanding explanations, she is demonstrating something rare: emotional maturity tied to emotional interest. She is not just reacting to how you make her feel in the moment, she is responding to who you are across time. Consistency also creates emotional safety because the heart relaxes where it does not have to chase reassurance. When her behavior remains steady, predictable, and present, she is unconsciously telling you that she is not experimenting with you. She is choosing you in repetition. And people only choose what they secretly hope will last. Nervousness is often attraction in disguise because when emotions become real, the mind loses its usual control. Confidence belongs to situations where the heart feels safe and detached, but the moment genuine interest enters, the emotional balance shifts. A girl who feels nothing around you will be relaxed, predictable, casual, and emotionally unaffected. But a girl who is drawn to you will suddenly become uncertain in her behavior, cautious with her words, and unusually aware of your presence. Her nervousness does not come from weakness. It comes from the risk her heart is secretly taking. She becomes conscious of how she sounds, how she looks, how you might interpret her words. Her laugh may change, her tone may soften or fluctuate, her body may betray small tremors of unease, not because she is uncomfortable with you, but because she suddenly cares about the impression she leaves behind. When emotions are not involved, there is nothing to lose. But when attraction exists, every interaction feels meaningful, every silence feels dangerous, every response feels loaded with possibility. That emotional pressure creates nervousness. She may hesitate before speaking, overthink simple replies, or become unusually quiet after being expressive before. These shifts are not confusion. They are emotional exposure happening silently. Attraction removes certainty and replaces it with vulnerability. Nervousness also appears when a woman feels emotionally seen without being fully ready to be understood. When she senses that you notice her moods, her reactions, her changes in tone, it unsettles her in a way that is both frightening and magnetic. She may avoid eye contact one moment and seek it the next. She may withdraw after getting emotionally close. She may fidget, change topics abruptly, or become awkward in moments that should feel easy. These are not signs of disinterest. These are signs of internal conflict between desire and self-protection. The heart wants closeness, but the mind fears exposure, so the body reacts with restlessness. Nervousness is the emotional static that appears when attachment begins to interfere with emotional safety. A woman who is not emotionally invested does not feel this conflict. She has nothing to protect. But when nervousness appears consistently around one person, it means that person has gained emotional importance inside her inner world. The fear is not of the person. It is of the feeling itself. She is afraid of what liking you might awaken in her, afraid of the power you could have over her emotions if she lets herself lean too far into it. And that fear often expresses itself not through distance, but through visible unease wrapped in subtle closeness. Nervousness also reflects anticipation. When a woman is attracted, each interaction carries emotional weight. She waits for your words before fully relaxing. She becomes alert to your reactions. Your approval begins to matter to her in small, gradual ways. She may become unusually sensitive to your tone, your pauses, your silences. If you pull back slightly, she feels it deeply. If you show warmth, it unsettles her even more. This heightened emotional awareness is not something she chooses. It happens involuntarily when attraction activates. She is no longer emotionally neutral. Her nervous system is responding to your presence as something significant. Nervousness is not always fear. Sometimes it is the body's response to emotional importance before the mind has fully accepted it. Details are remembered only when feelings are involved because the human mind does not store everything it hears. It only archives what the heart quietly marks as important. Every day we encounter countless faces, voices, conversations, and moments, yet most of them dissolve into nothing because they carry no emotional weight. But when a girl begins to remember the smallest things about you, your favorite food, the way you react under stress, the stories you casually mention, the moods you slip into when you are overwhelmed, even the words you once said without realizing their impact, it means your presence has crossed from awareness into attachment. Memory is not random. It is selective, and its selection is ruled by emotion. She does not remember your habits by effort. She remembers them because her mind keeps returning to you even when you are not there. Emotion creates repetition in thought, and repetition carves memory. If she recalls what you like when you speak, what you avoid when you're hurt, how your tone changes when you're tired, it means you occupy an emotional space in her inner world where attention naturally stays. People do not remember what does not touch them emotionally. When feelings are absent, information passes through the mind and disappears. When feelings exist, even ordinary details become unforgettable. When a woman remembers details about you, she is unconsciously proving that she is emotionally present with you beyond the moment. She is not just hearing you, she is absorbing you. She notices how you drink your tea, what you complain about after long days, what excites you when you talk about your future, what quiets you when you grow distant. These are not the things people remember about someone they feel neutral toward. Emotional involvement sharpens perception. It makes the mind alert, curious, and deeply attentive. She becomes aware of your emotional patterns without intending to study them. And long after the conversation ends, those details remain alive inside her because emotion keeps replaying what mattered. Even the things you think are small become meaningful to her simply because they belong to you. When feelings are involved, memory stops being logical and becomes emotional. She may forget countless names, faces, and experiences, but she will remember how you once looked when you were hurting, how your voice softened during a vulnerable moment, how your energy shifted when something deeply affected you. These memories do not fade easily because they carry emotional impressions, not just facts. Remembering details also reveals emotional investment because it requires mental space, and mental space is never occupied without psychological permission. If she holds on to your words, your habits, your stories, it is because her mind has already given you importance. Even when she is surrounded by distractions, responsibilities, and noise, the memory of you still returns. That return is not accidental. The mind always circles back to what feels unfinished, unresolved, or emotionally significant. A girl may not openly admit her feelings, but her memory exposes her attachment. When she brings up something you once said long ago, when she remembers what hurt you even when you tried to laugh it off, when she recalls your struggles without you reminding her, she is revealing that she carries you with her, emotionally, even in your absence. People do not revisit what is empty. They revisit what matters, what stirs feeling, what creates emotional movement inside them. Memory becomes the silent confession of feeling long before the heart finds the courage to speak it aloud. Silence can still be loud with interest because not all attention announces itself with words, and not all attraction demands expression. Some emotions are too intense, too vulnerable, too risky to be spoken openly, so they hide in pauses, in restraint, in carefully chosen distance. When a girl is uninterested, her silence is empty. It is clean. It carries no tension. But when a girl is emotionally drawn to you, her silence becomes heavy with meaning. It holds hesitation, awareness, restraint, and often fear. She may go quiet, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much and doesn't know how to safely reveal it. Silence becomes her way of protecting herself from exposure while still staying emotionally near. She watches without speaking. She listens without interrupting. She remains present without fully stepping forward. That kind of quiet is never neutral. It is charged with observation, emotion, and internal conflict. When interest exists, silence becomes an emotional container, holding what she is not yet brave enough to release. Silence can also become loud when a woman is emotionally processing what she feels about you. When attraction enters the heart, it disrupts emotional balance. She begins to overthink her words, fear misinterpretation, worry about revealing too much. So instead of speaking freely as she once did, she becomes measured. She pauses. She holds back. She chooses quiet over exposure. This is not withdrawal from you. It is protection of herself. Her silence becomes a strategy to manage the emotional weight you now carry in her mind. She may stop messaging first, not because she has lost interest, but because she is trying to regain emotional control. She may grow distant after moments of closeness, because closeness made her feel too seen. Silence becomes a shield between what she feels and what she fears might happen if she reveals it. And that tension creates a silence that hums with emotion, even in absence. Silence also becomes loud when a woman is emotionally invested, but uncertain about where she stands. She may be waiting for your signal, waiting for reassurance, waiting for permission to open up. In that waiting, she grows quiet, not from indifference, but from anticipation. She holds space for you internally, even when she is not communicating externally. Her mind may be filled with your words, even when the conversation has stopped. She may replay interactions, analyze tone, search meaning in moments that felt insignificant on the surface. Silence becomes the space where her emotions organize themselves around you. And the depth of that silence reflects the depth of what she is quietly feeling. When a woman feels nothing, she does not wait. She does not pause. She does not hesitate. She simply moves on. But when she is caught in emotional uncertainty, silence becomes her companion. It becomes the place where she hides her attachment while secretly hoping you will notice the quiet and step closer. Silence can even be a form of loud interest when words feel too inadequate to express what she senses growing inside her. Some emotions are so tender that language feels dangerous. Speaking them feels like risking collapse. So she stays quiet, not cold, not absent, but restrained, present in subtle ways, through watching, through listening, through staying emotionally available without declaring it. Her silence becomes weighted with unsaid feelings, with unspoken attraction, with longing that has not yet found safe expression. And in that silence, interest does not disappear. It concentrates, it deepens, it waits.